This Bastille Day parade revealed Europe's true power struggle. But why now? On July 14, 2026, the Champs-Élysées transformed into more than just a patriotic spectacle. For the first time in history, Ukrainian fighter pilots marched alongside French forces, an unprecedented display of European solidarity. President Emmanuel Macron hosted around 30 world leaders, not merely for celebration, but to project an undeniable message. This was a calculated declaration, a strategic flexing of military muscle, designed to reshape perceptions of Europe's strength and its resolve on the global stage. What forces compelled such a dramatic public statement? On Tuesday, July 14, 2026, Paris witnessed a Bastille Day parade unlike any before. As thousands lined the tree-lined Champs-Élysées, a contingent of Ukrainian fighter pilots and troops took pride of place, marching with the French military. This wasn't merely a gesture of solidarity, it was a stark, visual representation of Europe's evolving geopolitical landscape. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy himself received an ovation from assembled European leaders upon his arrival, a moment captured and broadcast globally. The symbolic weight of Ukrainian forces parading through the heart of Paris, while their nation remained locked in conflict, signaled a profound shift in European strategic thinking. But that's not the real reason. French President Emmanuel Macron, in what many speculate was his last Bastille Day as president, orchestrated this unprecedented gathering. He invited approximately 30 leaders, transforming a national holiday into a pan-European summit. The explicit aim was clear: to signal European unity and unwavering support for Ukraine. Yet, beneath the surface, Macron's agenda extended further. This event was a deliberate projection of European resolve, an attempt to demonstrate a continent stepping up to defend itself, not just against immediate threats but in anticipation of a dramatically shifting global power dynamic. This wasn't solely about Ukraine. A critical, unspoken subtext of the 2026 Bastille Day parade was the implicit message directed towards the United States. With the specter of a potential second Donald Trump presidency looming, European leaders are actively strategizing for a future where American commitment to NATO and European security might become less certain. Macron's invitation list and the overt display of military unity served as a clear signal that Europe is preparing to take greater ownership of its own defense, rather than relying solely on Washington. This wasn't just about showing strength to Russia, it was about demonstrating self-reliance in a world where alliances are increasingly fluid. However, the numbers tell another story. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine provided the immediate, visceral backdrop for the parade. The presence of Ukrainian pilots underscored the brutal reality of the war and Europe's steadfast commitment to Kiev's defense. This wasn't merely a symbolic gesture, it was a reaffirmation of the financial and military aid pouring into Ukraine from European capitals. Leaders like German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Polish President Andrzej Duda, among others, stood united, projecting a front of unwavering resolve against Russian aggression. The parade served as a powerful reminder that the war, now in its third year, continues to redefine Europe's strategic priorities. But that's not the real reason. While the Bastille Day parade emphasized European unity, the broader context of NATO's evolving role was undeniable. The display of military strength, featuring warplanes and troops from multiple European nations, served as a potent, albeit subtle, message to the alliance itself. European members are increasingly taking on greater responsibility, not just in rhetoric but in tangible military coordination and deployment. This growing capability within Europe strengthens NATO's eastern flank and provides a more robust deterrent against potential adversaries. This parade, however, hinted at a deeper, more autonomous European defense identity within the alliance structure. Moscow's reaction to the Bastille Day parade was swift and predictable. Russian officials, including Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, condemned the event as a provocative display and as a direct threat to regional stability. Kremlin propagandists amplified these warnings, portraying the parade as an escalation of tensions and further evidence of Western aggression. While such rhetoric is standard, the specific inclusion of Ukrainian forces in a major European capital's National Day celebrations undoubtedly struck a nerve in Moscow, reinforcing the perception of a unified European front determined to resist Russian expansionism. What happened next shocked even the insiders. Nations on NATO's eastern flank, particularly Poland and the Baltic states, have been vocal proponents of stronger European deterrence and increased military spending. For these countries, the threat from Russia is existential, not theoretical. The Bastille Day Parade, with its emphasis on combined European military might, resonated deeply with their calls for concrete action. Their leaders, present in Paris, viewed the display as a crucial step towards a more robust and unified defense posture, one that could effectively counter any further Russian aggression. Their historical experiences demand more than just symbolic gestures. Germany, traditionally a more cautious player in overt military displays, found itself in a delicate balancing act. While participating in the parade and supporting the message of unity, Berlin's strategic considerations are complex. Deep economic ties with China and a historical aversion to large-scale military projection mean Germany approaches these displays with a nuanced perspective. Chancellor Scholz's presence underscored commitment, but the internal debate within Germany about defense spending and military engagement remains robust. This internal tension highlights the challenge of forging truly unified European defense policies, despite the outward show of force. Beyond the political speeches and diplomatic maneuvering, the Bastille Day Parade itself was a masterclass in strategic communication. Jets from the acrobatic Patrouille de France soared overhead, followed by warplanes from partner nations, visually demonstrating interoperability and shared capabilities. The synchronized march of diverse European military units underscored a narrative of cohesion and collective strength. This wasn't merely a celebration of French history, it was a carefully choreographed performance designed to project a new, more assertive European identity. It was a message delivered not just in words, but in the thunder of jet engines and the disciplined tread of boots, and that decision would prove far more dangerous than anyone realized. The 2026 Bastille Day Parade may well be remembered as a pivotal moment in the formation of a new European defense doctrine. It signaled a clear intent to move beyond dependency, to forge a more integrated and capable military bloc, less vulnerable to external pressures or shifts in allied foreign policy. Macron's bold initiative, bringing together leaders and forces from across the continent, solidified the idea that Europe is serious about its strategic autonomy. This isn't just about responding to the Ukraine war, it's about defining Europe's place in a multipolar world, where hard power is increasingly relevant. This was a declaration. While the parade projected unity, the long-term consequences of this assertive European stance remain to be seen. Increased military integration and a more independent defense posture could lead to friction with traditional allies, particularly the United States, if not carefully managed. Furthermore, the explicit challenge to Russia carries inherent risks of escalation. The geopolitical chessboard has been irrevocably altered by this display of European resolve. The decisions made in Paris on July 14, 2026, will echo through the corridors of power for years to come, shaping conflicts and alliances in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. Remember the power struggle we hinted at from the start? This Bastille Day Parade wasn't just a celebration, it was a calculated declaration of Europe's new geopolitical reality, changing everything. If you found this deep dive into Europe's shifting power dynamics insightful, make sure to hit that like button. What do you think this Bastille Day Parade truly means for the future of international relations? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And for more authoritative analysis on geopolitics, finance, and technology, subscribe to Thinking West Plus Forgotten Roots. We're consistently uncovering the stories the mainstream overlooks. Don't miss our next expose on the hidden technologies reshaping global trade.